Happy Thursday. I am back with another fun tutorial to share with you, a free card making tutorial each week that I love to share with you as just my thank you for watching and liking, subscribing to all the things. And let's get started, right? Today we are doing all things pink, my favorite. And we are going to be using the new Love and Courage stamp set. So I'm excited to tell you about that and share today's card with you. Okay, so here is the Love and Courage stamp set. This is the new stamp set. It's in our Holiday Mini Catalog 2025. And it is the most courageous, strongest standing together stamp set that we have had, and I really love it. So support, strength, heart, faith, resolve, fight, hope, courage, survivor, believe, and all these other great sentiments. I love this set. So let me show you today's card real quick first. So it's upside down. Oh my. We are going to make this fun card. Look at all of that speckly sparkle. Oh, I just love that. So I can't wait to share this technique with you as well as at making today's card. Let me show with you real quick on page 4 of our Holiday Mini Catalog. It shows all about this stamp set. And what I love is this is our stamp set of making a difference, So for every stamp set that is purchased, this Love and Courage stamp set that's purchased, Stampin' Up! Is actually going to donate $3 to breast cancer organizations with the purchase of each of these sets. So it really is a set that makes a difference, where we get to stand strong together, right? And I just love this. It's a beautiful, beautiful set with a beautiful, beautiful cause and message behind it. So you see we've got all things pink, my favorite, and we are just about to head into Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so this is the perfect set to be able to celebrate and support those of us that we know are affected by that, right? Because we all know somebody who is affected by this. So I have all things pink here, and this is actually some of our two-tone cardstock. So we've got Melon Mambo, Pretty in Pink, and Bubble Bath here. And two-tone cardstock is really fun because it's actually exactly like its name shares. You can see there is a light side and a dark side. The dark side is actually true to the color, so that's the truest form of Melon Mambo here. And then there is also this lighter version of that on the other side. So we are going to use that. We're going to do some tearing today, so let me just move this aside. The other thing that we're going to be using along with that stamp set is one of my favorite basic die sets. It's called Stylish Shapes, and we're actually going to use this largest circle in the Stylish Shapes dies today. So those are the two main products we'll be using. Let me bring in some parts and pieces here. So I've already got our card base cut, scored, and burnished for us just to save us a little bit of time. Let's do the inside first. So I've got my inside basic white layer, and we're going to just we're only using one ink color today, Melon Mambo, one of my favorites. I love bright fun, right? So we're actually going to stamp with this heart that comes in this set. We're going to stamp this 3 times for our inside piece. So let me just make sure it's inked up. And I'm just going to stamp 3 of them, kind of one on top of the other. 1, 2, 3. And I just love to let it sit there a second and let the ink transfer. I think you get a little bit crisper of an image that way. So that is the inside of our card base. That part is pretty much done. So let's just go ahead and adhere that right inside. And I'm excited because I've got a few fun techniques to share with you today with the embellishments that we're going to use and also with that two-tone cardstock. So we've got that piece. So now our inside is mostly done. We're going to close up our card, and then I have a piece in pink cardstock, a layer that I've already cut for us. I like to save some time. Remember, if you need any of these measurements, I offer a free PDF tutorial every single week. So if you are one of my email subscribers, you actually get that emailed to you. And if you're not, you can sign up here at stampinqueenbee.com. And there is a little pop-up when you log on there, and it will ask you if you'd like to be a part of that. It's totally free, and I email that out every single week. It's got the printable PDF that has all the measurements, the supply list, some pictures of the projects, and that's just a little free service I love to share with you. Okay, so let's do some more stamping. I've got a piece of the same color, that pretty in pink, and you can see I've die cut that stylish shape. I love the little stitching it puts around the edge. So we've got one of those. Let me bring some grid paper in here, and I'm just going to ink up this large image. It's the sunflower plus the words. So half is sunflower and half is those beautiful words. Now, today's card really is focusing on our upcoming Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but you absolutely could change the color of these, and it could represent any of the different cancers that affect us. There's a beautiful ribbon in there, and so that could be any of the different colors for cancer awareness. So this is a really great set, really for all the things, right? Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and stamp this. I'm just kind of centering it. If it does go off a tad, it's okay, which is why I put that grid paper underneath. So I'm just gonna kind of hold this down, press it, make sure that the ink is transferring real well. I'm gonna lift that up, and I'm just gonna put my finger right underneath, and you can see that transferred real well, right? Okay, so now we're just gonna set this aside to dry a second, and we are done with our Melon Mambo ink. And so now I have a layer here, so let me just move that to the side. This is gonna be our layer that we add our two-tone cardstock to, our layers of that, because we wanna create this kind of rustic background. And so we're using this piece to create that piece. So I'm gonna bring in my silicone mat, and I'm just gonna put that on there. This way, if any glue gushes as I add these next pieces, it goes onto my silicone mat and not onto my work surface. So I've got those three pieces I showed you in the beginning. I cut a few of them down. Now they are larger than this piece that I'm putting here. That's on purpose, and I'll just trim the excess off at the end. But all I'm gonna do now is take that two-tone cardstock, and I'm just gonna tear a bunch of these pieces, kind of alternating my colors here. But you can see I'm tearing it towards me so that I'm exposing, I want to expose this white, right? And if you don't like one of the edges, or you think, oh, that didn't come out good, we can just tear it a little bit more. But our goal here is to show pink, white, pink, white, pink, white, kind of all the way down. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. And like I said, all the measurements for everything will be on there, but for this part, there really isn't like a set, they need to be this wide or that wide. That's why I just started with a big piece, because I'm just creating kind of these strips. So they're probably, let's see, I would guess like about an inch. Let's see. Yeah, they're about an inch, 3/4 to an inch, but I'm not measuring them because we're just going to layer these pieces. You can see I'm just kind of alternating these colors. And because this is two-tone cardstock, what's kind of cool is you get, right, those two colors out of one piece. Same thing with the darker one, right? If I wanted to use a darker and this lighter one, I could do that as well. So I'm just gonna keep going, and so you just need as many strips as covers most of your paper here. And so I like to leave, you know, a little bit of white at the top and bottom. I think it just kind of ties it together, but you can cover the whole thing kind of like I did. You can leave those, and depending how you space them will be about how, you know, thick or wide or thinner that they are. Okay, so now that I kind of have those as a guide, I'm just going to kind of move them to the side here. And I just started at the top, and so I just added my glue here, and you can see I put too much. So this is a good way to show you that if this gushes out, now I made this gush on purpose, this first one, it gets on my silicone mat, and then when that dries, I can just easily kind of wipe and it'll come right off, and that way this is not all on my table. I don't know about you, but I do not love a sticky, icky table. Okay, so I'm just gonna line these up, keep going all the way down just like I showed you. Just adding my adhesive as I go. And just kind of filling in this sheet. And if you wanted to leave white space in between, you could also do that. I love the two-tone that leaves that kind of white core exposed. Kind of does the spacing for me, right? And they're meant to be, especially with this card, they're all meant to look different. So they're not torn the same, if you notice. They're all different, and so that's kind of the beauty of this card, right? And then we're just leaving a little bit of that white on the top and the bottom. Okay, so now that I have this part done, I'm actually gonna bring in my paper snips. So remember, if we got any gushiness, that's kind of why I'm rubbing this, right? Then it went onto my silicone mat. And then any excess, so you see I cut those a little bit wider than my piece on purpose. This piece is 3 3/4, and I cut these at 4. And I did that on purpose so that I could just line them up as I wanted, and then I just take my scissors here and go along and trim off any of that excess. All the way down. And so if you had this on any of the sides, you could just do that. Just trim any excess. If you cut yours exactly the length of here, well then just make sure you line it right up and you'll be good to go. All right, so all my sticky, icky pieces there. And now, after I trim that, look at this beautiful piece. And really, we could go either way, right? You could put the white core towards the top or the white core at the bottom. And then this piece now is going to become really our focal, right? Our focal layer. But before we attach that, let's add some bling. You know, I am a huge fan of some Winkostella. So I'm going to bring in my Winkostella. I love sparkle, all things that sparkle, all things that glitz and shine, and I really love dots and speckling. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to squeeze just a bit. You can see that it ran kind of through the barrel there of my Winkostella, and I'm just using my cap here, and watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to flick, 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 using that cap. You could also tap it. I see some people do this. When you tap it, you're going to get these really big speckles, and so that's usually why I like to use the cap, because it gives a little bit smaller kind of speckles, but you absolutely could use the cap to tap it all over, or use the lid to get really light, kind of thin speckles. So we're just going to do that all over there. Let me bring this closer, and you can see, isn't that beautiful? Now hopefully you can see how it shines. There is glitter in each one of those speckles, and it's just beautiful. So we're going to set that aside a moment and let that dry. I'm going to bring in that piece that we stamped with that sunflower, and I'm just going to take my brush end of my Winkostella glitter brush here, And I'm just kind of coloring the center of my sunflower. And then I'm just gonna do like kind of like a little brush line in each one of the petals of that same sunflower. So we're just kind of coloring it in, giving it a little bit of sparkle there. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it is super sparkly all along that sunflower. And then on the inside of our card, we had those hearts, right? And so we can take our Wink of Stella and go right over those so that they also have a bit of sparkle. Can't go wrong with a little bit of bling, right? Some bling and some sparkle and shine. Okay, so we're gonna let those are drying, right? And I am gonna use some rhinestone basic jewels as our embellishments today, but I wanted them to be really in this pink theme. So I am using my Stampin' Blends. This is our alcohol markers in dark melon mambo, and I'm gonna use the brush tip end. And now these rhinestones, so I always recommend to new crafters, if you're gonna get any embellishment, start off with the rhinestones because they can become anything you want. They can be the clear as they are, or we can use our Stampin' Blends. And I'm just gonna color in 5 of these right on this carrier sheet, so right on the packaging. I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and now instead of clear rhinestones, I have some of my very own Melon Mambo rhinestones, right? So if ever you need an embellishment color that isn't yet in your collection or that we don't have, this is an easy way to kind of make your own colored embellishments. All right, now these are dry, so let's get all of this put together. So I've got my first piece here, and I've got my Stampin' Dimensionals, so I'm gonna put these on kind of the border here so we can pop this layer up. And let's just stick a few in the middle. I like all my layers to be well dimensionaled, no saggy layers, right? So we're just gonna peel the backings right off of these. There we go. And now we're just gonna take our layer here and center this right on our pretty in pink layer there. Doesn't that already look just beautiful? It could be its own card just like that, right? Then we've got our focal image here that we colored. So this one is also gonna go up on dimensionals. So let me just put a few of those around here. And maybe one in the center. And we'll just peel the backs off of these. One more here. Okay, so now this will go just right kind of in the center there. There we go. And then we'll grab our take your pick tool and we're just gonna go ahead and add those embellishments. So I'm gonna put 2 kind of on the top left here. Oh, one stuck to me already. There we go. We've got the other 3 that we will, my fingers must be a little bit sticky. We're gonna put these 3 down on the bottom here. 1, 2, and 3. So we've got 5 of these rhinestone blings. And there we have our beautiful card. You see all that sparkle now that it's drying? I love that. So this card could be used for any kind of support that you want to send. So let me bring in our other one. Let me bring back in our catalog so that you really can see the stamp set, the catalog, the Making the Difference, and our beautiful cards. I love that these stamps do good as well, right? Okay, let me flip this around. Real quick, let me remind you that if you love the card today and would love all of the pre-cut pieces to make these, when you order $50 or more in my online store this week, you will get a freebie from me, which will give you enough pre-cut pieces to make 3 of today's cards. So I don't want to forget to let you know about that. Okay. There we go. Okay, thanks so much for watching me today. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love seeing what you do when you are inspired, and I love reading each and every one of your emails and your comments. I appreciate each one of you so very much. Have a great week, and be watching for that email with all of today's measurements in the free PDF download tutorial for you as a thank you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.